guys, welcome to my channel, Life Speaking Food. Good food for every soul and a word for every heart. Hi, it's Chef Dolores. So, those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Dolores and I've been a chef for several years. I do private chef now since COVID. I have not worked in a restaurant environment and I actually like being a private chef. It's very important. I can be creative, come up with my own recipes. I'm on my own schedule and I'm controlling things, okay? But I so miss working in an environment with other chefs. But moving on, my business is called Life Speaking Food because of my love of cooking and a spoken word. So at the end of each video, there's a spoken word, right? So you guys gotta hang out for that. Don't leave. So today, food-wise, we're making sweet potato, honey butter, cornbread. Yep. No can. I'm not using a can. Very simple. And if I think of what this would go well with, I would say collard greens, maybe an airline chicken breast. I could just see it now. But that's what we're making. So you guys come in the kitchen with me. Let's go and make sweet potato, honey butter, cornbread. Let's go. Okay, you guys, so these are our ingredients for the sweet potato cornbread. So we're going to mix all the dry ingredients together, okay? So the first thing we're going to do, this is flour. That's a cup of flour, a cup of cornmeal, 1/4 cup of sugar, 2 room temperature eggs. We have some butter. We have baking soda. We have some milk. This is a cup of buttermilk. And we also have some maple syrup back there. And here is the honey that's going to mix with the butter to go on it for the top. So the first thing that we want to do is mix all the dry ingredients. So in we go. And in that baking soda, I also had a teaspoon of salt. This is the sugar. So we have all our dry ingredients together. So we don't have to worry about that. We're just going to set that aside. Now we're going to take our wet ingredients and we're going to put those in there. So we have our buttermilk. We have our 2 eggs. And we have our butter. Ooh, that almost fell out of my hand. Then we have our maple syrup. And you guys know what else is missing? Remember what I said we're making. Okay. I left it out on purpose just so you guys could say, hey, where's the main ingredient, right? So the main ingredient is that's it. That is the sweet potato. So we have to get that in there. And we're going to make sure this becomes one. Very important. You don't want any separation. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add that in there. So let's get all of this in there. And this is like just a medium size sweet potato. That's all it is. Now, I didn't use a can. I don't use canned sweet potatoes. So you can just boil this or you can roast it. I kind of roasted mine because it releases more flavor if you roast it. So that's what I did. Now, if you want to use the can, you can use the can, but you won't have the outcome. So I always say, once again, follow the recipe. So we have all of that in there, okay? So we're going to blend this together. All this has to come together. That's important. So we're going to let this up. We're going to let that blend for a while. Remember, we want it to come together. Very important. You guys don't have a KitchenAid, I would say invest in one, especially if you're a person that loves to cook. You know, that way you're not using a hand mixer or anything like that. So that's very important. So this we're going to do later. So this is just like a 1/4 cup of honey and that butter. We're going to do that cold. We don't have to have it room temperature. So let's turn this up a little bit here. And then we're going to take the ingredients that we added together. We're just going to mix these up so they become one as well. Now, this will go really well with like some collard greens. It's really good. Baked chicken and some sweet potato cornbread with honey. All right. We're going to turn this down a little bit. So I want to check it, make sure everything is coming together. Let's turn that off. And it looks like it's all coming together. We'll beat it a little bit more just to make sure. Okay, so the reason you guys did not see the sweet potato, because I had to cool it down. You have to make sure your sweet potato is cooled down, okay? So we're just going to turn this off for a minute, drop it down, just to get this cornbread mix in there that we put together. Put all of that in there. So once again, flour has gluten in it. And the whole key to this is that you do not want to overmix the cornbread. So we're just going to mix it just a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and incorporate it with just my hand, okay? With the spatula, of course. So let's get this up. Let's get it going. And it looks like it's already coming together. You see that? With my hand. There we go. I'm turning it off. Yes. Do not overmix. So important. It takes a lot of the moisture out. And if you get your eggs and your buttermilk room temperature, they mix very well. I'm just cleaning up a little bit here. That's why I keep these towels. I don't like this stuff on my counter. So let's get this down. And we're going to do our hand here. Okay, Dolores, what's happening here? All right, so I want to get everything off of here just to make sure I get everything in here. So I had like a tablespoon of double acting baking powder. I hope I didn't say soda before, but it's baking powder because you have that weight to the sweet potatoes that's in here. And it's so important that you have that baking powder in here, okay? So you guys see how this is coming together? I'm not over mixing it. I'm just making sure there are nothing white just hanging out there. All right. I'm gonna fold, and fold. All right, that's all. I'm not gonna bother it anymore. So you do not need a big dish of this. This is a very rich cornbread. So I have an 8-inch right here. It's clear. Some people use they use like a cast iron, and that's fine. Um, I like using this glassware though because I like the way it cooks, and it doesn't make the bottom of my cornbread come out dark. I don't like that. And it doesn't make for even cooking. And I have tried cooking cornbread in a cast iron. It's good as far as the weight because it cooks more evenly, but this actually does the trick too. So you guys, look at that. That is your sweet potato cornbread. So we're going to put this in the oven for 375 for about 15 to 20 minutes. So you guys stay tuned and we will go from there. Okay, let's get it in the oven. Okay, you guys, so now we have our butter and we're going to put that in there. And I'm using a whisk. And the reason why I want the butter to get whipped, okay? And then we're going to put it in the refrigerator because this is going to generate energy and therefore it's going to make the butter melt. And plus, and being in the kitchen, having the oven on, it'll cause the butter to melt because it's a little warm in here. So that is why I'm using the whisk. I want to get it whipped, and then we're going to place it in the refrigerator, and then I can scoop it out. Okay, so now let's get our honey in there. Have you guys ever made any type of flavored butter before? I mean, I've done like a compound butter. Compound butter is something that you use like on savory food, maybe like on salmon if you get like some fresh rosemary, some garlic, whatever you want, herbs you want to put in there. And then you whip it together and then you cut them out in like little squares, or you can keep it like in a little dollop or whatever. So, but anyhow, now this is very rich, this dish, this sweet potato honey cornbread. But it doesn't hurt to eat a small piece. You don't want to deprive yourself of everything, but you want to do everything in moderation. You guys probably see me cook a lot of rich things, but I don't eat all of that. Okay, so that's important to know. I give it away or my family eats it. So let's turn this on. We'll get that going. And it will come together. You guys will see it, the finished product here in a bit. So like I said, it's creating energy. That is why I don't put my butter out to room temperature. I just, right from the refrigerator, I just do it. All right, let's turn it up a little bit. And it will come together. I just want to get a whip. I want to get it nice and whipped. That's important for presentation. So we'll let this go for a while, you guys. And then I will come back and show you what it looks like. Stand by. Okay, you guys, this is it. That's simple. That's all this is just butter and honey. Now we're going to put this in the refrigerator so it'll stay nice and cold because it's pretty warm here in the kitchen. So we want to make sure this stays nice and cold, and then we'll top it off on top of our sweet potato cornbread. Okay, let's go. All right, we're going to get that butter on here. Get this on the plate. Now, you guys, I do not eat all of this, so I either give it away or give it to my family, or I freeze it. I want to eat a little bit later. So stay tuned. We're going to get this on a plate. The loudest voice is the one you can't hear. There's power when you don't see change until it's a movement of change. And when you know the commission, you're razor focused.